Sọlá Àdìsá ọmọ Adéyẹmọ aka Ìgbòho-Òòṣà nípa bí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lọ́dún àpapọ̀ Yorùbá lágbàáyé lábẹ́ ààrẹ wa Ọba Adébáyọ̀ Fáládé igbákejì ààrẹ Mákindé Kíadúnbí kẹ́ńtò ṣíṣe ìrọ́kẹ̀kẹ̀ ìgbáradì níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti ẹ̀mí ìforihàn lágbèkalẹ̀ àyẹ́sí ọjọ́ ìbí Ìgbòho fún tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àkọlé Dinner with Ìgbòho. Bákan náà làwọn ọmọ gba ọba ògbóni àgbáyé lálejò Tajudeen Ọlárẹ̀wájú Àjàlá àti bàbá Adésọjí Tàlàbí àkóró ṣàṣà Ẹ̀kúnmọ̀gájí nílùú London láti wá ṣe àyẹ́sí fún olóyè Ìgbòho lọ́jọ́ náà tí ó wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ńlá ní London City 179-199 Holland Park Avenue London W114UL United Kingdom bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago 7 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ẹlẹ́lẹ́dàgọ́ 12 òru. Bákan náà láti kí wa kú ìmúrasílẹ̀ ìwọ́de làmìlaka tẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ ènìyàn tí ó wáyé nílùú ọba 1 million rally in London lọ́jọ́ 12 oṣù kẹwàá ó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kejì dínà pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho léyìí tó Ọláyọmí Kóìkì àti bàbá wa Gbẹ̀du ọmọ ṣàkóso ẹ̀ lọ́kàn ọ̀jọ̀kan àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn. Bàbá ṣe máa fi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé láàánì London round bus gbé àwọn àgbààgbà àti àwọn abarapá gbogbo láti BBC in Oxford títí tí ìwọ́de ó fi parí sí Paris Trafalgar Square tó bá wá di ọjọ́ kẹtàlá ọjọ́ kẹtàdínà pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho láwọn máa ṣàbẹ̀wò lọ sí ìlú Manchester gan fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti dá sí ètò ìfọlọ́dúnrìnlì ẹ lè gbé tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp Ọláyọmí Kóìkì lórí +447-594-050-979 ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́ Ìkíadúnbí lórí +447-570-320-030 Ṣọlá Kòkòtọ̀kù lórí +353-863-375-537. Bákan náà ní ẹ lè kàn sí Tóyìn Ọláoyè lórí +447-896-018-764 lápapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá àgbáyé pátápátá YSDN pẹ̀lú Yorùbá World Media Home and Diaspora àti gbogbo ìkànnì mìíràn tó sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fún ìjàngbara ọmọ Yorùbá.
Good morning and welcome once again to our live transmission. Mokiwogbuakwe, a very good morning. Please share the program and invite others to do as well. If you're new to the platform, this is a platform that talks about self-determination and a platform that also brings the awareness of Yoruba nation to many that love and would prefer to know. If it's not the kind of your taste bud, you might still want to sit back, and I'm sure you will learn one or two things that you probably don't know before. Bokibobuakwe, good morning and welcome once again.
Lọ ń dá sí nǹkan tí ó kàn mí ṣùgbọ́n tó kàn mí mo dá sí lórí pọ́nmọ Yorùbá ni mí. Níjọba bá wà tí ò sí ẹ̀tọ́ tó yẹ kó ṣe fún aráàlú tí wọ́n dìbò fún tó jẹ́ ìjọba lé lórí. Tíjọba bá wà tí ààbò bá sí fún aráàlú tó ró ìṣèjọba lé lórí aráàlú dìde fúnra ẹ̀. Kì í ṣe pé mo pàṣẹ àbí mo dédé pàṣẹ àbí mo kàn sọ nǹkan tí ó wá látọkàn mi. Nǹkan tó fa ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni pé ẹni èwo láti bí ijọ́ mẹ́lòó kan sìn bí ọ̀sẹ̀ bíi méjì sìn nípa ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní tó wà ní gbogbo Ìbàràpá. Ẹ wo dókítà wa Dr. Fatai PhD doctor ọmọ Yorùbá tó kàwé tó gboyè ó wá lọ sí lóyìnbó ní àìníye ọdún ó lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ó wá dé okòó dé ó wá lọ lu bàbá ẹ̀ ní gàgà ó dá oko àgbàdo ẹ̀gẹ́ èso oríṣiríṣi nǹkan soya beans ó dẹ̀ gba ọmọ wa ní gàngán bẹ́ẹ̀ náà síbẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ tó ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ Fúlàní wá jẹ oko ẹ̀ ó wá gbéra láti lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní yìí sọ̀rọ̀ láti lọ bá Sẹ́ríkì Fúlàní pé ẹ wá wo ohun tí àwọn ọmọ yín ṣe lórí oko mi kò yẹ kó rí báyìí lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá mi. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dé lókun bẹ́ẹ̀ náà wọ́n dẹ̀ sápá àìmọye èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tá tá lè múrúkọ wọn làwọn Fúlàní ìbẹ́ lórí tó pa wọ́n jí àwọn kan gbé ẹni tó bá gbowó tó kéré lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ wọ́n gba 7 million wọ́n gba 10 million wọ́n gba 11 million lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wa ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn dùn mí ó bà mí lọ́kàn jẹ́ gan pé tá a bá torí pé tó Ọlọ́run gbà fáwa àwa ará àwọn ọmọ tí ń tẹ̀lé wa tó ń sáàbù fún wa àwọn tí ò lẹ́yìn tí ó tẹ̀lé wọn kọ́ ìdí nìyí tó mú mi lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ débẹ̀ ó tí mo lọ fún ni pé láti lọ bá a kó sógun ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí lórí ilẹ̀ wa sọ́dà ẹ ti ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa adẹ̀fàyè gbà yín àbáyíjà àṣekẹ́ jàmbá fún yín ọ̀rọ̀ ni mò ń bá Sẹ́ríkì sọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ yọ̀ mọ́ sí mi mo gba ìbọn yẹn lọ́wọ́ ìkan yọ àké àgbà ìkejì tún yọ ìbọn mi ìyẹn tiẹ̀ yìí ẹni bá wọnú fídíò yẹn tó rà fídíò wọn ó yin ìbọn yẹn sí mi kí n tó lọ́bọ̀ yẹn mọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ fídíò rẹ̀ pé ìbọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dáhùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yin ìbọn sí mi bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n tó ẹ ń bájà wá ẹ̀yìn pípò yìí tí n bá bájà wá ẹ̀ ní dúró tẹ́ ẹ bá ti wá lè wá àtúnṣe sí ọ̀rọ̀ jíjígbé àti pépà àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àtàwọn àǹtí wa àwọn bọ̀dá wa àtàwọn ìyá mi àtàwọn bàbá mi tẹ́ ìdí wọn olóko mọ́ yé o ó fẹ́ tàkẹ́ forí lẹ bàbá wa lẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ náà ń fà yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kí sọ̀rọ̀ ọjà àwọn kan gbé wọn fẹ́ pa àwọn mùsùlùmí kílọ̀kàmí kan mùsùlùmí kílọ̀kàmí kan kírísítẹ̀ kílọ̀kàmí kan gbogbo táwọn ń fà yìí èmi ò nídìí kankan àlàáfíà Yorùbá ni mò ń wá mi fẹ́ kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n dúnkòkò tọ́pọ̀ jù wọ́n dúnkòkò ntọ́lọ́hún táwọn tí ń dúnkòkò náà mọ̀ pé àwọn dúnkòkò mọ́ mi ṣùgbọ́n ohun tí èjé kí ẹrù bà mí ni pé ó ń bẹ nínú Bíbélì pé tí ẹ bá ń jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ lórí nǹkan bàbá rẹ̀ tó bá kú síbẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan kan torí pé mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan táwọn ṣe yẹn fúngbà díẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń dúnkòkò àti bí ìjẹ́ ẹni tọ́rọ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn ní wọ́n ti ń pè mí àwọn fẹ́ wá mo máa arrest mi wọ́n ti ń send message oríṣiríṣi pé wọ́n fẹ́ wá gbé mi lé ẹ̀rù kankan ò sì bà mí. gbogbo àwọn ọba tó wà bẹ̀ pátápátá inú wọn dùn wọ́n sì fọwọ́ sí pé ìyà tí ń jẹ àwọn etí tó àwọn òfin fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wọn mọ́ pépà ti tó àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa iná làwọn jọba lé lórí tí fídíò sí wà àwọn ọba gan ni wọ́n ń pè mí pé ìyà tí ń jẹ àwọn yìí ti tó àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa àwọn ọmọ àwọn tó ń pa irọ́ dọ́ọ̀lá àwọn náà làwọn sì jọba lé lórí ó ti tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí àgbààgbà Yorùbá tínú rẹ̀ ò dùn sí pé kò sínú àgbà ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n náà ni ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n bàbá wa ni inú tí wọ́n ní òdùn bí wọ́n ṣe ń pa wá bí Fúlàní ṣe ń jí wa gbé tó ń gbowó lálá lọ́wọ́ anúwò ọdún ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n kọ́ bà wọ́n yọ wọ́n nípò bí tí wọ́n wà sẹ́wọ̀n yìí pé nígbà tí wọ́n ń jí àwọn aráàlú gbẹ̀gẹ̀gbẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń pa wọ́n tẹ́lẹ̀ kankan sọ̀rọ̀ ń bọ̀ ya wọ́n lọ jí ọmọ ọba gẹ́gẹ́ gbé ọmọ ọba tí ń bẹ lórí gẹ́gẹ́ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ wọ́n jí ọmọ bàbá gẹ́gẹ́ gbé fúnra ẹ̀ tó fọ́ kó díẹ̀ bí wọ́n sì gba 4 million lọ́wọ́ bàbá kan tó gbọ́ ọmọ bàbá àwọn Fúlàní torí pé ń bọ̀ ọba ya ayé ti gba àwọn Fúlàní ìdíbi pé wọ́n wá gbé ọba fún ẹ̀ náà àfin wọ́n ní kọ́ lọ kí buwara lọ dáwọ́ jọ àwa Yorùbá sì sùn a sì dákẹ́ a sì sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn bàbá wa dẹ̀ dákẹ́.
mo kí gbogbo wa pé a very good morning and welcome mo kí wa pé a kó oorun àìsùn tá tún jí for every day tá bá ń jí àmàrànra wa létí how Nigeria has been a disaster for the millions of our ìran Yorùbá. Nigeria jẹ́ ìlú tí ó báyàn nínú jẹ́ tó pọ̀ àmọ́ a tètè get message yẹn for about 20 years. Àwọn tó wá nímọ̀ yẹn pé nǹkan kan right is either tí wọ́n bá shut wọn down or kọ́ má fún wọn láyè rárá, and that is the reason why tí a lot of èèyàn púpọ̀ ṣe ní understanding atrocity tí Nàìjíríà ti ṣe fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn. Mo kí wa ní kíkí àlàáfíà pé káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa àní lè máa dárúkọ torí àsìkò and enough time for that. Tó bá jẹ́ pé bá ṣe ń wọ secondary school, bá ṣe ń lọ sí primary school, bá ṣe ń lọ sí Sunday service, bá ṣe ń lọ sí ilé kéwú ni wọ́n ti ń tètè ṣàlàyé bí Nàìjíríà ṣe jẹ́ fún wa, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa àti máa béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ láti kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. But wọ́n ní delay is never the problem. Let us just accept pé púpọ̀ nínú ọ̀rẹ́ ni tọ́ wa sọ́nà láti sọ àṣírí Nàìjíríà fún wa. Kò dẹ̀ sáṣírí kankan tó wà ní Nàìjíríà jù pé àwọn tó mọ the know wọ́n jẹ́ káwa tó kù tá jẹ́ the masses ká mọ kúlẹ̀kúlẹ̀ tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. Kò sẹ́nì kankan tó mọ kúlẹ̀kúlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà until just some 5 years ago tí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tó jáde gidi gan. I'm not talking about àwọn Biafra. Torí olúkálukú ló mọ ibi tí ìran ẹ̀ tí Nàìjíríà ti fi jìyà. Ìran tiwa làwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀. Tó bá yẹ pé àwọn tó ní làákàyè tó tètè ṣàlàyé fún wa nípa Nàìjíríà, there is probability pé kò ní sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà mọ́ lénìí. But adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run tó fún Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè ní that boldness láti ní kí ká challenge Nàìjíríà, ká question ẹ̀. Torí pé àìmá question Nàìjíríà òun ni kò jẹ́ kí a rí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àṣírí tó ń bẹ nínú ẹ̀. Ṣé tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo wa kọ̀ rò pé a wà nínú country tí ó dẹ̀ ní prospect, but a mọ̀ pé a tẹ̀ sí nínú country rárá. Nísìnyí làwọn èèyàn ṣẹ̀ wá ń gbé yẹ̀wò pé lóòótọ́ tó bá yẹ pé a wà nínú country, àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí country tó yẹ kó ṣe fún aráàlú. So Bàbá Akíntóyè ni ká dúpẹ́ fún tó gbé history Yorùbá jáde padà. Torí gbogbo àwọn politicians were ready láti fún wa ní history yẹn. Kàkà kó fún wa ní history yẹn, ṣe ni wọ́n ní kó bò mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ti mọ ibi tó ti wá, tó bá sọ fún pé igi yìí igi pọ̀pọ́ ni, gbà tó dá kankan mọ̀, kò dẹ̀ sí èso tó yọ pọ̀pọ́ nínú ẹ̀, á ní igi pọ̀pọ́ ni. Tó bá ní ọsàn ló wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ńbẹ̀ yẹn, òun náà sọ pé ọsàn ni. So gbogbo ń tó sọ fún wa nípa Nàìjíríà nígbà tó lúkálukú ti gbọ́ nípa Nàìjíríà pé bóyá secondary school ló ti mọ̀ nípa Nàìjíríà díẹ̀, ẹlòmíì mọ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà láti primary, ẹlòmíì bóyá gbà tó dé university ló ṣẹ̀ ní understanding Nàìjíríà. Irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀. Irọ́ látòkè délẹ̀ òun ni wọ́n fi fabricate ẹ̀. Látara irọ́ yẹn, àwa rẹ́ni tọ́ wa sọ́nà pé irọ́ ni ìlú yìí tí gbogbo wa jọ wà nínú ẹ̀. Látara ẹ̀, àwọn tó mọ bó ṣe manipulate, wọ́n di olówó. Owó kẹ̀rẹ́ tó bá ti pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ èèyàn, o lè fi suppress, kò dẹ̀ fi gag àwọn èèyàn. Òun làwọn tó kù ṣe fún wa. Tá bá ní ká tẹ̀ playback pé nígbà military, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà kọ́ ni military lò, wọ́n lo àwọn civilian láti fi operate. But the kókó inú ẹ̀ gangan ni pé the entity yẹn kò sẹ́ni tí ó lè fún wa ní description ẹ̀. Mo wá ṣèrántí nísìn pé tó bá lọ wáṣẹ́ nílùú yìí, wọ́n ní silver service, waiter, waitress. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó bá ti sọ job title, wàá sọ job description, wàá dẹ̀ sọ iye tí iṣẹ́ yẹn worth àti iye hours tó máa ṣe. Wàá wá wo iṣẹ́ yẹn báyìí, wàá wá wò bóyá ó pé ẹ based on the job title àti job description. Kí ni job description Nigeria? Because a ti mọ̀ title pé Nigeria ni. A ti mọ̀ pé title ìlú yẹn was Nigeria, Nigeria, Niger area, Niger area. Torí ó súnmọ́ omi nígbà tí Lugard tó wà lọ́nà Kogi. Ǹjẹ́ mọ̀ pé Kogi ni Lugard gbé? Kogi ni Lugard gbé. Now, ǹjẹ́ wọ́n lè sọ job description Nigeria lórí aráàlú? What is the job description fún Nigeria? Kí ni job description ẹ̀? That shows pé gbogbo wa pátá ni wọ́n ti gbé ní Mugun, ni wọ́n ti gbé ní Gogo, àtàwọn parent wa, àtàwọn tó bí parent wa, àwọn kan ṣì wà láyé, àwọn tó bí àwọn parent, àwọn kan ṣì ní great grandfather, ẹni tó bí mọ́mì tiẹ̀, ẹlòmíì ṣì ní tiwọn láyé, ẹlòmíì ti kú. So àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń tò, àṣé gbogbo time tí wọ́n try láti get fine tune Nigeria yẹn, wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò ní work. But how do we define it pé kò ní work? Ààrẹ ní ṣàlàyé fún wa. Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ define ẹ̀ pé intern sọ yìí nípa ẹ̀ Nigeria yìí pé kò lè work? Ààrẹ ní body tó ṣàlàyé yẹn fún wa lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. But something sparked and something started changing. Ṣé a lè sọ pé àsìkò yẹn tó ni? Àbí ó kọ̀ wọ́n àwọn tó ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé it is time to get a better understanding? Because for a very long time, tèmi fi ṣetán ní secondary school, mo ò gbọ́ details Nigeria báyìí rí. For about 5 years, GSS 1, GSS 2, GSS 3, SS 1, SS 2, SS 3. Ní gbogbo period tí mo fi ṣe secondary school, mo ò rẹ́ni ṣàlàyé details Nigeria báyìí fún mi rí. Pé kájọ jókòó àwa àtàwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa, kájọ wá máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria. I don't ever think so. So generation ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ní secondary school nísìn, ó jẹ́ kẹ́yìn máa dúpẹ́. Torí a lot of us like this, I ever gbọ́ àgbọ́yé yẹn báyìí rí. A kò gbọ́ pé we are Nigerians and that's all. But àwọn tó wá lè ṣàlàyé fún wa, wọ́n fún wọn ní voice. Bí a tó bá fẹ́ sọ nígbà yẹn, bí a wọ́n tètè mú wọn mọ́lẹ̀ ni. Because throughout tèmi fi kúrò ní secondary school, mo tẹ́ rò pé mo gbọ́ Lugard rí. Èmi ò lè sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ omi o. Èmi ò rò pé mo gbọ́yàn kan tó ń pè ní Lugard rí, Lord Lugard. Pé à ń ṣe course kan, àbá à ń ṣe subject kan, orúkọ Lugard wá pop up. I can't remember. Bí awọ́ dẹ̀ sọ tí mo rántí, but èmi ò ever gbọ́ Lugard rí tèmi fi ṣe tán pé bọ̀bọ́ kan wà o, arákùnrin kan wà o. So that means pé iṣẹ́ tó ṣe ni pé kọ́ má fún wa ní in-depth description Nigeria. But there were tons and tons of information tó wà ní public domain, but wọ́n jẹ́ kó wọnú Nàìjíríà tó lè spread, tó lè circulate fún everybody láti lè ní understanding ẹ̀ ní èdè wa. Abájọ nísìn tó bá sọ pé we are not Nigerians, ẹlòmíà kọ́ máa wẹ̀ pé kí ló mí pé we are not Nigerians, because kò gbọ́ kò mọ̀ rí kò gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ rí pé we are Nigerians, bí mo ṣe máa sọ pé a kì í ṣe Nigerians, pé kí lèmi mí pé a kì í ṣe Nigerians, pé we are Nigerians. Ṣùgbọ́n after independent tàti gba independent but a mọ̀ pé nǹkan kan wà before Nigeria yẹn. Nǹkan kan tó wà before Nigeria yẹn òun ló ń pè ní Ọ̀yọ́ Empire, Ìjẹ̀bú Kingdom, Èkìtì Kingdom, gbogbo kingdom yẹn wà káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé within ilẹ̀ wa. Now mo wá realize pé deliberate ni àwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn. Now àwọn wo lẹ́yìn rò pé ó ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn, or àwọn wo lẹ rò pé wà behind information to hide for a very long time ta fi wá ń struggle láti gain ground lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ká má kúrò, ká wà ní Nàìjíríà ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, tó wá di conversation. That means some people were worried and concerned pé ìjọ táwọn ará bí ìbá ti tètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gbọ́ nípa irú èèyàn tó lọ́hùn dá wọn, irú èèyàn tó jẹ́, ṣe lọ́mọ máa challenge wa o. Ṣe níbikíbi tó bá wà lágbàáyé àti nínú Nàìjíríà wá máa challenge authority pé ta ni wá gangan. But we are grateful that Professor Adebanji Akintoye ó wá tètè fún wa ní more understanding pé for us as Yoruba people to survive, ó ní pé ká kọ́kọ́ lọ maintain identity wa gangan. Tá bá tẹ̀ ní pé ká jókòó sínú Nàìjíríà, àṣẹ pé kájọ máa róòlù Nàìjíríà yẹn, kájọ máa ṣe. Now kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí identity tiwa? Ṣé ó máa increase ni àbó máa depreciate? Because lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ èdè tá máa sọ nínú country yẹn kò ń ṣe èdè tiwa gangan, èdè lédè là ń sọ. Àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ tiwa tó jẹ́ ká máa fi ṣe government, torí pé èdè wa náà la máa fi implement government, èdè wa náà la máa transmit tó máa di economic policy, èdè náà la máa gbé tá máa fi ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan. Kí ló wá fà á tó fi di pé èdè yẹn wọ́n wá ní no, ẹ jẹ́ ká wà nù Nàìjíríà bọ̀ ká wá gbé èdè yẹn ká gbé sábẹ́ English, because English òun ni language tó yẹ ká máa sọ nínú Nàìjíríà. Mo wá ń try láti work out pé kí ló dé tó ṣe jẹ́ pé English la láti máa sọ tí a sọ èdè tiwa. That means pé tá a bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, English ló máa jẹ́ first language wa. Àwa tún wá realize pé no, kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ níta, because àwọn Nigerians tó lọ gbé ní Ukraine wọ́n kọ́kọ́ ṣe ìgbọ́dọ̀, wọ́n kọ́kọ́ kọ́ èdè kó tó lọ sí class. Kódà tó bá fẹ́ apply fún university nílùú yìí, wàá béèrè pé ǹjẹ́ o gbọ́ English, because that means pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn ìlú kan wà English kan ní èdè wọn. So for you pé o fẹ́ wá kàwé nílùú yìí, wọ́n fẹ́ understand your knowledge of English. Wọ́n wá gbé Yorùbá, wọ́n gbé sábẹ́ English. Wọ́n wá ní gbogbo wa o, English la máa sọ. But tó bá ti wá sọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ èdè abínibí wa, wọ́n á ní you are speaking in vernacular. Mo tún wò pé ibo nìyẹn ti, báwo nìyẹn ṣe work out pé èdè abínibí wa, èdè tó ti exist, only Elédùmarè mọ̀ iye thousands of years tédè yẹn fi ń wà. Àwọn kan wá ní ẹ má worry nípa gbogbo yẹn, ẹ̀yẹn ṣàjẹ́ káwa save Nàìjíríà, káwa good leader tó máa operate Nàìjíríà, tí gbogbo wa máa wá gbé nígbé àlàáfíà, àmọ́ àní lè máa sọ èdè wa as the official language. So a lọ lo English. Ta ló ní English yẹn? Ta ló ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tó ní ká máa sọ yẹn? Àwọn wo ló nìyẹn? Ṣé yẹn náà wá lára ara in tí Odùduwà mú wá ni? Àbí a ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń kọ́ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí in tí a fi lè communicate? Because in tí mo wá realize ni pé tó bá rí Chinese prime minister àbí premier kò ń sọ English, kò gbọ́ English. Tó bá sọ English sí, wàá gbé kinní kan sí létí, wàá ṣe máa translate ẹ̀ sí èdè ẹ̀. Kí ló dé tí kò ṣe gbọ́ English? Because wọ́n ò fi English kọ́ láti kékeré. Ṣé rí bó ṣe destroy ayé gbogbo wa pátápátá. Ṣé rí bó ṣe mú life generation ni àwa ìran ọmọ aládé, ẹ wo bó ṣe dá sínú inú àgbo. Wọ́n wá ní tó bá ti gba èdè lọ́wọ́ èèyàn, tó gba identity ẹ, tó gba culture ẹ, ìwọ níwù ló máa wù. Báwo la ṣe wá fẹ́ wá rí good leader tó máa lead wa nínú Nàìjíríà? Because lára pé à ń wá good leader, òun náà lọ gbé Tinubu wá báyìí. Because àwọn kan ní good leader ni, wọ́n náà mọ̀ nípa ètò dáadáa. Àwa rí pé 419 òun nìyẹn. Ara crime against àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí a fi ń sọ pé ọ̀nà tí ó kù nísìn ni pé kí gbogbo wa ká pull out of Nigeria. Àwọn kan tó wá nínú a máa kọ́kọ́ béèrè fún restructure níjọ́. Ẹ kàn lè sọ pé fẹ́ jáde nínú Nàìjíríà bẹ́ẹ̀. Now kí ló dé tẹ́ ṣe ń sọ pé àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ jáde tán kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, a gbọ́dọ̀ máa jáde ní bit by bit? Ṣé àwọn Britain, ṣé wọ́n consult gbogbo wa nígbà tó ń join ní Nigeria together? Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n jẹ́ ká jókòó ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ara wa pé ǹjẹ́ a fẹ́ ṣe o? Ṣé rántí pé wọ́n ń lo agbára níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn? Agbára tó lò wọ́n ò lè rí lò mọ́ bí tàná. Wọ́n ń lò nísìn indirectly with politics. So tẹ́ bá ráwọn tó ń jà fìtàfìtà nípa politics nínú Nàìjíríà, ara agbára tí Britain gbélé wọn lọ́wọ́ nísìn nìyẹn pé kó fi máa manipulate wa. Because kò jẹ́ kí ọmọ Yorùbá kankan tó jẹ́ representative wa kó sì máa bá wa argue nípa pé until tá bá kọ́kọ́ tún gba regional government, òun la lè fi tẹ̀síwájú. Àwa lọ encode referendum sínú constitution. When we can pull out, èyí tó yẹ kí gbogbo wa ká pull it together, ká jọ gbé Nàìjíríà ká jù sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mòye yín nísìn. Now, kí ni nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ gangan? O sì fẹ́ jẹ́ ká wà nínú Nàìjíríà, ká wà lábẹ́ English. Ṣé o mọ̀ pé for every time tó bá lọ sí ilé ìpamọ́ owó, èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ló máa sọ sí ẹ? Ṣé o mọ̀ pé gbogbo ìgbà tó bá fẹ́ travel, gbogbo nǹkan tó bá fẹ́ ṣe pátápátá, èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì òun ni mode of communication. O dẹ̀ ní láti ṣẹ̀tú máa lọ kọ́ yẹn. That means pé brain wa yìí, abájọ ta máa sọ pé I like maths. Because èdè ló yẹ ká fi kọ́ maths. Èdè ló yẹ ká fi kọ́ subject kankan tá à ń ṣe. Government ni, Christian religious knowledge ni, Islamic religious knowledge ni, biology ni, physics ni, economics ni, home economics ni. Kódà wọ́n tẹ̀ tí wá ṣe Yorùbá ní mandatory. O ní right láti drop ẹ̀ tó bá ti ń dé SS1 pé ò ṣe Yorùbá mọ́. Èyí tó yẹ kí Yorùbá jẹ́ èdè tá máa fi ṣe gbogbo subject, bó ṣe ń ṣe ní China, bó ṣe ń ṣe ní France, bó ṣe ń ṣe ní China, ní Germany. Àwa wá ń sọ English di èdè abínibí wa. Ẹni tó bá wá sọ àwọn English míì, wọ́n á ní you can't speak good English. You can't speak. Àwa máa tún máa fi yàn ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́. A máa fi ẹni tó gbọ́ Yorùbá, a máa fi ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ ní class pé kò gbọ́ English. Gbogbo wa náà láti ṣe nígbà tá a wà ní secondary school. Àná orí. Wọ́n ní oya speak in English. Teacher wa wọnú class. Ó mọ̀ pé níyàn ò gbọ́ English. Òun ló máa wá ní oya, can you read this sentence? Ọmọ yẹn wá wo òwe yẹn títí báyìí pé olódo nìyẹn, olódo ràbàtà, ojú ẹja ló mọ̀ jẹ́. Àṣà ara wa la ṣe ní gbogbo táìmì yẹn. Ẹ wo ìkà tí wọ́n ti ṣe fúnra wa. Ẹ wo jàǹbá tó ṣe fún every single, gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ ń wò mí báyìí nísìn, gbogbo yín pátá àtèmi lọ ṣe jàǹbá yẹn fún. Pé ká lọ máa wá English language. Àwa ará wọn yàn nígbà tó bá dé yunifásitì. Ìyẹn lẹ ṣe máa ń gbé coursework yín fẹ́ lómi kó bá yín ṣe. Torí understand gbogbo tó gbé kalẹ̀. Because ó dá nísìn tó bá fún ẹ ní coursework. Ṣé wọ́n tó pass ní secondary school tó jẹ́ pé ó kọ̀ manipulate tó fi dé yunifásitì àbí polytechnic. Ṣé o mọ̀ pé hard one ló máa lọ pàdé lọ́hùn? Bó tó bá jẹ́ pé Yorùbá ni a fi ń wọ yunifásitì, tó bá gbé thesis fún ẹ, tó bá gbé coursework fún ẹ, wàá dá kalẹ̀ gbùdùgbùdùgbùdùgbùdùgbùdù, wàá submit ẹ padà. Lecturer tó dẹ̀ máa wò náà, Yorùbá lòun náà máa fi kà, Yorùbá ló máa fi máàkẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹni tó ṣe tán ní yunifásitì nísìn, yàtọ̀ sí pé tẹ̀ ríṣẹ́ fi defend course tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe, majority yín lè fọwọ́ sọ̀yà kẹ́ sọ pé ẹ̀yin lẹ parí yunifásitì yẹn fúnra yín. Lè fọwọ́ sọ̀yà. Ẹ fọwọ́ sọ̀yà kẹ́ sọ fún mi pé èmi o, Ọláyọmí Kóìkì, yunifásitì tèmi o, èmi ni mo ṣe gbogbo láti year 1 tí mo fi parí final course mi, tí mo fi ṣe final presentation mi, èmi ni mo ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó bá mi yẹ̀ wò. That has been lára jàǹbá tó ṣe fún wa. Now, how long lẹ fi pé ó gbọ́dọ̀ take ká tó rectify ẹ̀? Àti pé ṣá lè rectify ẹ̀ tá bá wà ní Nàìjíríà? Gbogbo àlàyé tí mo ti ń ṣe láti bí over 34 minutes ní èdè. Ǹjẹ́ tá bá wà nínú Nàìjíríà, a lè rectify ẹ̀? Àwọn kan lè ní nínú state level a lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. But tó bá dé federal level ńkọ́? Ṣé tó bá ṣe state, tó bá fẹ́ lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ní federal, wàá sọ fún wọn pé Yorùbá ní kẹ́ fi gbà mí nínú ibi iṣẹ́ yìí o. Yorùbá dẹ̀ ni màá máa sọ, Yorùbá ni màá máa fi kọ report. Ẹ̀yin lẹ máa lọ máa ṣe translation ẹ̀. Ṣó possible? Ṣó possible kó ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú federal? Kó wá fún ẹ ní assignment as a secretary, kó wá fi Yorùbá kọ́, kó wá gbé fọ́gẹ̀ tó wà ní PAMSEC ní whichever ministry tó bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́. Ṣó possible? But ǹjẹ́ o mọ̀ pé tá bá gba country wa ní gbogbo àti federal àti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, at the state level, at the local, Yoruba ni mode of communication for everybody. Kò sí English mọ́. The end of English, the end níjọ́ tí Yoruba nation country bá ti dé, that is the end of English within all government institution. Ìyẹn ò ní sọ pé àní máa sọ English o fáwọn foreigners, but pé o fẹ́ apply, o fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan, o ní engagement tó fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú ìjọba, o ní any right láti lo English. The mode of communication, èdè Yorùbá ló máa jẹ́. So don't you prefer that one? You prefer èyí tí mode of communication wa tó jẹ́ English, and yet it is not helping me and it has never helped you. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, Yorùbá nation kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé Fúlàní wà nígbó nìkan la fi ń pariwo pa fẹ́ gba country. A fẹ́ change Oshe Clement. Only you are lucky you didn't even pay money in the classroom for speaking vernacular. Àwọn kan máa ń sanwó, which is true. Clement is right. Ṣé mọ̀ pé nínú class, wọ́n ní if you speak vernacular, you pay 10 kobo, you pay 50 kobo, you pay 1 naira, or you get beaten. The end of Nigeria is coming. There's no doubt about it anymore. Do you know why? A ti gbìyànjú tó pọ̀ láti fi expose the majority of the lies. Mo kí gbogbo wa a very good morning. Watch this video. These are Nigerians, Yorubas, mostly. Edo, I believe, maybe some Bendel, and probably maybe some few Igbos stuck somewhere in Libya. Ìkúnlẹ̀ abiyamọ àṣeyín. Imagine àwọn tó wà nínú ewu, wọ́n tún náà fẹ́ protect orúkọ Nigeria. They want to defend Nigeria. The same Nigeria tó rán wọn lọ sí exile, to end up in prison in Libya. Because, it's an understanding. Ìyẹn mo ṣe béèrè pé, what is the job description of Nigeria? Kí ni job description ẹ̀? Good morning and welcome to all our listeners and viewers around the world. Nigeria has created a complete disaster to the indigenous people. And if we do not fight to take ourselves out before it is too late, the damage will continue to grow. And nobody's coming to save us. Let's go into a bit of history. The 1914 amalgamation. Mokibubua, a very good morning and welcome for joining this morning transmission. Oh, my internet is not on. Let's see if I can get signal with my hotspot. Okay, it's on. Speak this straight away. That's good. All right. On January 1st, 1914, Lord Frederick Lugard, the governor of both the Northern Nigeria Protectorate and the colony, which was Lagos, and the Protectorate of the Southern Nigeria, which include the southeastern part of the country, sign a document consolidating the two, what join méjèèjì papọ̀, thereby creating the colony and the protectorate of Nigeria. "46 years later, Nigeria then got its independence. From 1914 to 1960 is another 46 years. That means after what joined Nigeria together, Britain, through the colony as a colonial master, continued to rule Nigeria as the wish, continue to run the country to their own desire and their own taste board. Until then, people started asking that they wanted a total independence. Question kan tó máa ń confuse àwọn kan ni pé, how did Britain manage to, have this power to have done what they did during that era? It's a big question. But whatever power tó ní níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, wọn ò nírú agbára yẹn mọ́ nísìn. To some extent, the power is there, but àwa là ń feed the power yẹn. Àwa tá jẹ́ the indigenous people, àwa la ṣì ń feed the power yẹn. Níjọ́ tí a bá ti stop láti feed the power yẹn, then things will start dropping and things will fall apart. But that is subject to if we want that to happen. Let's go further. People ask so many questions. Why did British amalgamate Nigeria in 1914? Why do you think the British amalgamated Nigeria? We know the reason. Is that reason still valid for today, or has it expired? reason here should expire? Àbí ó ṣì wà valid? What do you think? Do you think that the reason they gave in 1914 for the amalgamation of Nigeria, that reason is still valid today? Or should we say that reason is no longer valid? Because if you say it's valid, that means we want Nigeria to remain. If it's not valid, then that means you are one of those that do not want Nigeria to exist anymore. Which one are you going to pick? Is the reason still valid? Or is the reason invalid? Let's see in the comment section. What is the reason for the amalgamation? People are asking. These are questions people ask on Google. What is the reason for the amalgamation? We know that the reason is because the northern part of Nigeria, Nijon alone, the British were not making any money from the north, and they were not ready to subsidize it, just like your petrol has been subsidized for decades until Tinubu came and removed it. Apart from the amalgamation expiration in 2014, which has been confirmed by many people, whether you agree or not, Mukia Ashatishe, Taba Begbese, to end that expiration, all we are going to be doing is we are feeding back Nigeria to remain as one. So it is very, very important. People ask, who gave Nigeria a name after the 1914 amalgamation? No, the name was projected during the governor administrator then, Lugard, with his girlfriend, Laura Shaw. Both of them created the name Nigeria. Orúkọ tí à ń lò lénìí, Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. Orúkọ tó coin látara etí omi àti àdúgbò agbègbè ibi tí wọ́n fi sọ pé èèyàn dúdú ní àdúgbò kan, because the word nigger stand for black. So ìwọ tó ń argue blindly nípa Nigeria, kí ni nǹkan tó mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ gangan àti pé kí ni job description Nigeria faraàlú? Because gbogbo iṣẹ́ ló ní job description. Ǹjẹ́ Nigeria ní description? Ǹjẹ́ Nigeria ní job description? Àti pé what is the job description of Nigeria to its citizens? What are the two amalgamations that took place in Nigeria? So let's see what the response came back with the first question. Why did British amalgamate Nigeria? In 1914, Southern Nigeria was joined with the Northern Nigeria. That means prior before the 1914, each one of them stand on its own. Not Daduro, Ilẹ̀ Yoruba Daduro, Ilẹ̀ Igbo Daduro. That was in 1913. 1 year, kí wọ́n tó join in Nigeria in January 1st, 1914. The unification, the unification was done for economic reasons, and the colonial administration sought to use the budget surplus in the southern Nigeria to offset its deficit. Okay, should we ask question? Is the northern Nigeria still under economic reason that we should allow them to keep all of us together in one Nigeria? Or should we rescue them and say, even if we leave Nigeria, we can support your budget, we can support you pẹ̀lú our own wealth, so that ẹ̀yin náà lè gbéra, ẹ lè dìde láti lè jẹ́ ìlú tó ní any reason mọ́ láti depend on anybody. Because reason tí a ṣe wà together nísìn, ṣé reason yẹn ṣì valid going back to the 1914 amalgamation? Do you think that the reason is still valid? Ǹjẹ́ rò pé ìdí tí a ṣe ń sọ pé ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, ṣé reason tí wọ́n fi join ẹ̀ ṣó ṣì wà valid? Then tó bá wà valid, kí la lè ṣe láti rectify ẹ̀? Because the purpose of joining us together was because of economic reason. If the North are struggling economic-wise, is it not going to be in the interest that we let them know that we will be there to support them as a Yoruba country, just like other countries are supporting countries around the world due to their own economic situation or insecurity and other matters? But Abani Kashi Waninu Nigeria, they are holding the rest of the Awontofe progress backwards, yet the economic is not having any impact on our lives. And our own life has been taken out of context. I don't know. I'm asking questions. Because the Northerners might be concerned that, look, breaking up Nigeria is going to have a big impact in their own budget. There will be deficit. Because North has always been a deficit during the British rule in Africa. In Nigeria. When the British came, there was nothing called Nigeria in 1860. It took them 42 years to pull it together to call it Nigeria. But then it was only known as the North, which is why they call it Northern Protectorate. While Ile Yoruba, or the South, was called Southern Protectorate, and Lagos was called the Colony. Are the North going to be worried with Nigeria? But in consider one. I'm just looking at another angle. Maybe our leaders need to present to them and tell them that, look, if you are worried about our concern and worried, we can make sure that the Ijoti Yoruba Daduro as a country, we will not leave you behind. We will still support you from our own Yoruba government, just like America, Britain, Germany, Canada are supporting many countries around the world that are struggling financially, that are struggling with many other areas. Because the North are worried. We affect my country, strong feet. Are we now going to wait for the North to become viable country before we can break away Nigeria? If not, it's going to take decades. Taba careful. Because it didn't Britain she joined in North. North was slowing things down. They were not making money. There was a hole, deficit hole. Oh, and in a budget one. Well, you can say the North can handle themselves after breakup, but they're not gonna. That is the reason why they don't want Nigeria to break, because they can't handle themselves. Maybe we should be telling them that as a country, we will guarantee that we will look after them. Just like America is giving freebies to many countries around the world, even though most of those money are channeled into terrorism. Because the North doesn't want to handle their own affairs. That is why they don't want Nigeria to break. I am not talking about the Fulanis now. I am talking about the Hausas. Maybe we should kind of encourage them and let them know that we will support them as a Yoruba country. And I'm talking now from the kind of an international perspective of policies and all these things that, you know, you listen to, you hear around the world. Because if you break up Nigeria, which the northern part doesn't want a breakup, they can't stand on their own. But can we give them assurance that we will give you, you know, a good support, but we need to pull out force to be able to do so? Because what is happening right now is that our North, they rely on the Southwest to survive right now, but it is not helping our as people, indigenous people anymore. I don't know. I'm just trying to, you know, bring this into discussion. Mr. Adesina Sunday says the northern part are eating all the resources of Nigeria. The northern have the best economic now. They have what the Yoruba have today. They have largest farm. They have the most lucrative killer business cow. But in Erantipe, they also have thousands of youth that are roaming around the north, and they are a threat to our lives. I hope some of you are remembering that when we come to Ambimo, the north has so much of them, Alimajiri, that will become vulnerable to you and me if we do not take a strong stand to give them assurance that I'm support Ijoba, but you got to let us go out of Nigeria first. This is a very deep discussion I'm trying to fine-tune. It's not to say, we're going to break away from Nigeria, but the North doesn't want to break away from Nigeria because they are not seeing themselves as a stable country. Maybe we should tell them that we would be there for them when the country finally breaks. Remember that the North is not the North that we know at the beginning, because Usman Dan Fodio has taken out the entire Hausas. So I want to get Hausa ni mo sọ. I am not talking about the Fulanis among them. Just to give them the assurance that, look, the breakup of Nigeria, like Babakitoye says, is not to create a war between us and the North, between us and the Igbos. Because some of you think that, oh, the breakup of Nigeria is to create immunity and hatred. No. It's to develop and build a new system of government. Ni ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa, ni èdè tiwa, láti lè support àwọn èèyàn tiwa àti àwọn tí a jọ jẹ́ neighbors tẹ́lẹ̀. Well, if Tuji Bello is waging war, that is the reason why a Yoruba government will go after Tuji Bello, because Nigerian government refused to do so. That is what they call security part. Why do you think Ukraine is standing today? Is because they're getting billions of dollars over America. And I just saw the headline that one of their drones penetrated Russia again. Owó tí American pump is in Ukraine, even though America recession is coming. Inflation ti fẹ́ pa wọ́n with over $30 trillion debt. But America keep printing money because they refuse to listen to IMF and the World Bank. So what I'm just trying to bring out here is a Yoruba government will prepare a special force that will go after him and they will eliminate him right where he is. Just like America kill people that wants to kill and destroy their friends and neighbors. And the rest of the world will do the same thing. Because Tabana affect that country. But our neighbors what affect that country, Pelu, when I want affect that country. Maybe there's something they're concerned that we need to start asking them. What is their worry? What is their concern? It's just a discussion. Because they will hold us back if we are not going to put effort to pull out. And then, but all your politicians are working directly with the North, especially with the Fulanis. That is why you have somebody like that Obatokpere Niwo, Abioluwo, or whatever he's calling himself, because he's a Fulani stooge. Alan Conde is right. The Fulanis and the Britain are scared to let the Yoruba to go because Britain knows the Yoruba can do when it comes to brainstorming. One more the power of the Yorubas. But what do we do? Depends on when we want to do it. And if we do nothing now, we would all suffer the calamity of not doing anything. We got to react now before it's too late. We got to act now. The longer we are not acting and we are allowing the politicians to continue to deceive us, the more it's going to drain a lot of things out of every one of us. So let's continue. I still have some few minutes. A very good morning. If you're new to this platform, this is called the Yoruba Nation Discussion, and we appreciate every single one of you. Again, what is the reason for the amalgamation in Nigeria? The amalgamation was an administrative fiat of Nigeria by British colonialist overlord for economic and administrative conveniences. It was convenient for the Britain. But is it convenient for us now? If it was convenient for Britain, is it convenient for the Yoruba people and the Biafra and the Hausas to live together? I'm asking a question. Sheffield way, our living together today, is it convenient? Yes or convenient? No, it's not convenient. Let me see in the comment section. Good morning once again. Can the real Hausa people come out and have meeting with the Biafra and Yoruba nation to know what they want from both the Biafra and Yoruba nation? If we engage them, I'm sure we will know. Do you think that there is still conveniences within this union of three people joined together by Britain for administrative and economic conveniences? Kí lẹ̀yin rò? Ṣé rò pé àjọgbé wa nínú Nàìjíríà àwa ẹ̀yà mẹ́ta tá jẹ́ the major ethnic indigenous people? Ǹjẹ́ rò pé ó ṣì wà viable pé ká wà together àbí kò wà viable mọ́? A lot of people are saying no. But what is our governor thinking? Do you think our governor also think it is no? And if what we are thinking, Mrs. Esther Ewetuga JP say, our living together is not convenient with us at all. Dashmayor says, the British understand us more than ourselves, and they are doing all their best to pull us back. Somebody said, I am tired of Nigeria. That is not the solution. Being tired is not the solution. How to exit is what we should be finding, because you cannot get tired now. The word tired, what we should be thinking of, how do we exit so that there will be less confrontation between us and the people that we are campaigning to and the community that we want to rescue, which we are all involved as well. Hausa has gold, but they don't have access to it. It's controlled by the jihadists, the terrorists that are not Hausas. The Hausas has been taken out of the picture. There's nothing called Hausa anymore. The longer Taban Peninu Kini, the more the power. Look, they have already been able to create wealth for themselves, and they've been able to now say, look, they have the media to convince a lot of people, which we don't have the capacity. How many of us look at the whole numbers of people watching this morning? Less than 1,000 people. Is that the same people that you want us to be talking to every day? The same 1,000 people every day will come on live? How do we expand the scope and get the message to the real people that Iditi, Nigeria, Shewa together was a British colonist overlord for economic and administrative conveniences? Shewa convenient for our money sin. O convenient from Britain nígbà yẹn, but so convenient for our ìran Yoruba nísìn. Abdullah says, our government think about their pocket, not about us. How do we stop that pocket? How do we make sure that our government's pocket goes drain? That is what we should be thinking of. That is where our mind should be, not to say, oh, I am tired of Nigeria. Nobody's going to listen to your tiredness of Nigeria. How do you stop your governor from operating Nigeria? Level and all this is decide between you and as many people across the 191 local government. But we're only talking to just 1,000 people. But the numbers ambassador is 1,000. But when their own mainstream media, which is used against us, goes on, they are talking to about 200,000 people. That is about 199,000 more people than me. You know why? Because they are properly set up, working against us and deceiving Nigerians about a failed country that was never meant to be. That is what their mainstream media are doing. So we are working against a big obstacle. So what think of? But you want somebody to process that for you again. And this is where I find it a little bit, difficult to understand. You will come live, okay? The same set of people are watching me. What about the people that are not watching? How do we reach out to them? How do we get to them? What are the means of getting to them? Because they need to be rescued, just like you have been rescued. Look, you think about a program for the next 3 weeks, and you think understanding it. What about the next 3 weeks of the people that have not understood nothing? What more do you think you can do to deliver the message? The conveniences and economic reason, Oshi valid. is the economic and the administrative reason tí Britain ṣe join wa ṣó ṣì wà valid lẹ́nìí àbí kò wà valid mọ́? Do you think it's valid? So when you say we're gonna, the governors are making money, what do we do to stop them making money out of us? Kí la gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe láti make sure pé gbogbo tí ó máa ní wọ́n lára tí wọ́n máa fi dá wa lóhùn ó lè ká máa ronú sí. Òun lè kí gbogbo wa máa ronú sí ní gbogbo 191 local government. Ṣé mọ̀ pé local government mi wà wọ́n lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ kankan tó máa affect ẹni tó wà ní Lagos State. Ó possible. But ẹ fẹ́ ká fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀ which kò necessary. Olúkálùkù dẹ̀ mọ̀ in tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. It is a task tí gbogbo wa ní role láti play. Àwọn kan wà nínú abúlé nísìnyí débi pé tẹ́ bá lọ gbé ọ̀rọ̀ bá wọn pé nǹkan báyìí là ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Kẹ́ jókòó tí wọ́n fún ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì. Kẹ́ ṣàlàyé fún wọn. Kẹ́ present ẹ̀ fún wọn. Táwọn mẹ́fà bá dìde tó bá wá sí Aláwùsá wá dà nǹkan rú. Táwọn mẹ́fà tó bá gbéra láti ìlú tó bá dé Aláwùsá wá dà nǹkan rú, èyí tó kù dẹ̀ máa kọ̀ fọwọ́ kún wọn ni. To link sọ pé the only solution is to set emotion and sentiment off limit. But many of our èèyàn wa a ṣì ní sentiment sí inú ibi tí a sọ pé yà ń jẹ wá. Any sentiment. How can we execute a lasting solution to Nigerian problem? There's nothing called Nigerian problem is to pull out of Nigeria. Because there's nothing called Nigeria. So you don't have a Nigerian problem. What you have now is a Yoruba nation problem to become a reality. Gbogbo Nigeria is no longer a problem. Because it doesn't have a job description. We have Nigerian problem. There's no Nigerian problem. What we have now is to go back to the root and then develop that root, which is Yoruba nation, and then find out if there will be future problem or not. But you might think that separation will just happen overnight without any effort by sitting on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. So that will just bring Yoruba nation. You think Yoruba nation is going to come from the UK or America or from Europe or from Africa? The Yoruba nation that we are talking about would happen from inside Yoruba land. Mukibu can say very good morning and welcome. Let's read the last article before we wind the program down. It's exactly 1 hour, which is what I planned. 1 hour 14, 1 hour 9. Nigeria is a failed state. And this article, we've read it before, so I'm not going to go through everything. It was put together on the 27th of May, 2021. That's about 3 years ago. By Robert L. Rothberg, the founding director of the Harvard Kennedy School Program on Instruct Conflict and the president emeritus, just like we call Professor Emeritus, of the World Peace Foundation, and John Campbell. John Campbell was a former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria and also a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. Both of them confirm that Nigeria is a failed state. Nigeria has long teetered on the precipice of failure. But now, this was 3 years ago. So imagine the state of current situation pẹ̀lú gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àti Nigerians under this monster administration calling themselves APC. But now, unable to keep its citizens safe and secured, this was 2021. 13,350 approximately have been killed under this administration by terrorists. 9,225 were adopted. Some had to pay huge ransom. Its failures, Nigeria has become a fully failed state of critical geopolitical concern. Fully failed state. Tó bá sọ báyìí ní 2021, kí lẹ rò pé ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn? This was 2021. Ní wọ́n ní Nigeria was a fully failed state of critical geopolitical concern. Kí lẹ wá rò pé ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn? In the today's Nigeria. Kí lẹ̀yin rò pé ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn? If by 2021 we were told that Nigeria was already a fully failed state, and Tinubu rò pé ó máa wá rescue it after 3 years of madness, tí Buhari ṣe. Ṣé rí pé it's all gimmicks and lies. But ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ò ní gbọ́, wọ́n dẹ̀ ní gbà. Just like when Titanic was going down, the rich on Titanic were still asking the chef to cook roast dinner for them when the ship was already sinking, because they didn't believe that the ship was sinking, because they were on the top roof of the ship. Did you understand that? Nígbà tí Titanic tó fẹ́ wọnú omi lọ. That is why most of them died. So àwọn Yorùbá tó wà nínú Nàìjíríà nísìn tó ń sọ fún yín pé nothing is happening. Ẹ ní láti argue pẹ̀lú wọn mọ́. They would all die with Nigeria. There's no doubt about it. Just like many people died during the Titanic sinking, because nobody thought that Titanic would ever sink. The end of Nigeria is here. We are going to be here to remind you throughout all the broadcasts, but now with 1,000 people watching, you play your part to get the message out more. I cannot do more than what we are doing already. 1,000 people is not going to bring a Yoruba nation. Probably 1 million people would deliver a Yoruba nation that are fully aware, well understood, and that will give us a quicker Yoruba nation that we want. But if you want it to remain a slow version through consultation, dialogue, and diplomacy, 20 years from now, you will not get a Yoruba nation. 20 years from today, you will still be doing the same thing that we are doing and will be asking for Yoruba nation. Because diplomacy does not give a country. Negotiation will only happen after crisis. So Tabafe country, Loto, we will buckle up and we will prepare for that exit together. A very good morning. Enjoy the rest of the day. God bless you all. And God bless Babakitoye. God bless Igbowo. God bless our land. And God bless everyone that wants total freedom from the Arewa that are stuck in between the Fulanis and the Ijaws and the Middle Belt. And you cannot force people that doesn't want to be part of you. The Biafra cannot force anybody that doesn't want to be part of them. Neither the Yorubas can force anybody. Let us first talk about the people that are much closer from Kwara to Kogi all the way down to Lagos before we start dragging others that probably might not be interested for Yoruba nation as a country. There are smaller countries around the world that are doing greater than a bigger country, and they have a better say in the development of the world that we are living today. Don't be fooled that somebody in Europe or Africa will rise up to fight for you. We must all stand up, and let's fight for this right together. Nobody's going to die, but some people will lose their lives. There's no doubt about it. Millions of people have been affected by the death that is going on with so many crazy war that could have been stopped. If you think that the world will stop your terrorism and come and fight on your behalf, more of you will lose your lives before we get to that destination. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Have a very great day. Bye for now.